she goes out there and just kind of calm her a little bit. So, but she's a good speaker too. So, absolutely, they've got a good crew. I appreciate all of you guys.
Thank you for being out there. Appreciate it.
I got to run take the little one to baseball, but I wanted to at least pop in and be seen briefly.
Yeah.
So, and thank you.
Thank you.
Absolutely, yeah. You know how it goes. So, good turnout.
Yeah.
Well, I like the small room too. I think the acoustics are better than the one. So that's a cool. Put it
Let's be realistic. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I'd rather protect him and people be like,
Okay, so it's going to be live. When you're done, just place it on the table for them to use.
Okay, so this would be the one they passed out.
Yeah. So, probably just put it here.
I don't think this is hooked to a speaker. I think it's just hooked up to the phone.
2-minute opening, 1-minute closing.
Yes. Yes.
Oh, is it not hooked up to the speaker?
I don't. No, I don't think so. Because these hook up through USB on the phone.
Oh.
But thankfully, it's a smaller venue. Because this is really for the benefit of Facebook Live.
Well, make sure to speak loud.
Yeah, we're not that fancy. So I keep looking around like, no, I don't see a separate speaker.
Yeah, where's the Jumbotron? I said, where's the Jumbotron?
Yeah. hit the remote.
Yeah.
Drop that screen. Hey, so there's no separate speaker. This is just feeding straight to the phone, right?
It's a mic that's connected, so it's picking up on you.
No, I understand, but there's no overhead
right,
speaker.
no overhead speaker.
So we need to use our big boy voice.
Yes.
Yeah, sure. You can put another one there.
We're all trying to give you water.
All right, we're going to have to use our big boy voices like you said. Go ahead and get started.
Okay. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're about ready to get started. Ladies and gentlemen, if you'll take your seats, we're about to get started. Thank y'all. Yeah, I have kids. You know how it works. Hey, I'd like to welcome everybody here today on behalf of the Chamber of Commerce. We're glad to see a good turnout like this. It's a good testament to the community involvement and what's going on locally. I feel like a lot of times local elections and things of that matter just go right over people's heads, and you complain about it afterwards. So one of the main benefits of the Legislative Committee is we get to hold these candidate forums where we design the questions that are based on small business concerns, and we get to have our candidates right here in front of us where you can speak to them before, not during, please, and you get to speak to them afterwards. It's a good representation to get some face-to-face contact, which can be lacking, especially during any time there's an election. So I'd like to give a special shout out to our chamber staff for making this possible. Melissa Shook. And we also have some of our newest members, Kimberly Hoodschelt, and we have Alec Martinez, and the newest, Kenneth Standrick. And so without them, this would not be possible, but with them, we can make amazing things happen in this town. And I'd also like to introduce our moderator, Clay Gerben. He is graduating this year, next month as a matter of fact, going on to bigger and greater things, but we got to use him last year a couple times, and he's a great sport. You guys are really going to like him. So without further ado, Clay, please yours.
Thank you. I guess I'm special because I do get to talk to them during, but y'all get to talk before and after. So, I want you to imagine a community that you love, one that you grew up in, and one that you aspire to change. Now, I want to imagine that I give you a list. Say I come over here, and I give you a paper, and it has 2 names on it. 2 names, but you don't know what they mean. And you have to choose one of those names to run your city. Now, you may be confused. You may be thinking, I don't want to choose a name that I don't know how they're going to run my city. That's what I aim to change tonight. I aim for you to be able to know who is wanting to run your city. I want you to go into that ballot box, look at the paper, and be able to see not just 2 names, but 2 sets of beliefs, 2 sets of ideas, and 2 sets of change for Midlothian. That is what we have to do. This is why I'm proud to introduce our Place 3 candidates tonight. On your left, we have Mr. Gardner, who will be running for Place 3, along with Ms. Hammonds, who will be running for Place 3 as well. So, without further ado, I'd love for both of the candidates to give an introduction. A 2-minute introduction for both of you, starting with Ms. Hammonds, and I'll be counting down with 5 seconds, and then after that 5 seconds is over, I'll ask you to verbally stop.
All right, thank you, Clay. Hey, everyone, I'm Anna Hammonds, your current City Council member for Place 3. So I'm wrapping up my 3rd year on City Council. My husband's in the back row. If everybody looks at him, he loves attention. His name's Danny. We've been married almost 20 years next month, and we have 4 kids, all here in Midlothian ISD. We cover a high school, a middle school, and an elementary school. They're crazy. They keep us busy, but we love it. Our family loves the Lord. It's everything that we do in life, not just the kind you like sit in the church pew on Sunday mornings. I'm talking like every kind of breathe it kind of thing. So my background is in social services and in the nonprofit world, everything from consulting, executive coaching, but then to the volunteers. And that's what I've really, the last like 10 years, I've really honed in on, volunteering for boards, being present in the community, making sure that we know what's going on, feet to the ground and everything like that. I'm big on cross sectors. So the organization I work with now works across Ellis County to make sure that across our sectors, we are working together to help people in the community. So government, education, nonprofit, faith, and businesses, how they're all coming to the table. And I wear a hat in every one of those spaces, and I'll talk a little bit more about that. I love to have fun. Life is too short to not have fun and have joy in everything you do and crack a joke. We have too many boring meetings to not have fun. However, that doesn't mean I'm a pushover. I cast a vote on my own 2 high heels, and I'm not swayed, and I have 0 tolerance for treating people badly. We can treat people well and have conflict respectfully. So the very relational part of what I do is a big thing that I run, that I do in my seat for council. So we'll talk more about that, but thanks for having me.
Thank you.
You ready? Okay. Hi, Midlothian. I'm Ed Gardner. I'm a previous city councilman, served 1 year, and I'm coming back to represent you all again. I am a Christian, a God-loving, God-fearing Christian. I am a veteran, but most importantly, I'm a father and a husband, and I have a wonderful family. My children were born here in Midlothian and are now both at MHS, and we as a family have absolutely love this city, and that's why I'm running. I'm running because I see a city that is growing exponentially, and in some ways it's not growing in a very positive direction. We need to look at a city as it moves forward that is going to support the people that live here in terms of having good roads, good infrastructure, that are going to be built around public safety and about having a tax rate that we can all afford. And I just don't see that happening. I keep seeing all these big dreams and big visions, but it all comes on the back of the taxpayers. And we've got to keep fundamentals first. We've got to focus on driving home what government is supposed to do, and that is to represent the people and to provide for the basic services. Everything after that is wonderful. It's all gravy. We can have wonderful parks, we can have wonderful events, we can do all these nice things, but not at the expense of infrastructure. And so, that's the primary reason I'm running. But I'm going to bring 20, 30 years of business now to the job and use that fiscal conservative that I have to represent you all and support Midlothian. So thank you.
Thank you. All right, I'm going to first start with Ms. Hammonds. I'm going to ask you, what is your vision for our community's development, and how do you plan to support small business growth as a key part of that vision?
Okay, so our community's development, that's a really big question. So I'm just going to hit like a couple. We just redid our comprehensive plan in the fall, and that will tell you right there what, as a current council, that we are looking forward to as far as development. One of the things I want to point out, you may know Ellis County is the 8th fastest growing county in the nation. So growth is coming whether we want it or not, whether we're out looking for it. So one of the things we discussed was we're not begging for people to move here. We love people to move here, but we're good on residential growth. But if we have focuses on business, industry, when appropriate, that will help the full cycle of bringing companies in, that's revenue in, that's sales tax, being able to put that back into our community and support the people that actually live here. So that's one part of community development. There's a whole lot that goes into that. I've been the liaison to we have an A board and a B board. Both are economic development and community development. I'm the liaison to community development. And so just a couple of things that have been going on in this area of small business that I want to touch on. One thing is making sure we have places to go for our businesses. I don't know if you've looked around recently. It's hard to find some places to go. So that's one focus that's been there. Being linked with people like the Chamber, things like this morning, Business Before Business, working with the business community to educate, to advocate, to get help them be better in their business. Things like facade grants, marketing campaigns to shop local, to bring people here, to help all the businesses. Those are all efforts going on with our Chamber, our A and our B corporations going on, working with TSTC and Navarro on job training, all of this. I'm going to be out of time, but there's a ton going on for our small businesses. And the last thing, like I mentioned earlier, is relationally, we have to be out in the community and know the people. So I need to know the business owners. And so being in the community so I can know what's going on is the big deal there. Whew, 2 minutes goes really fast, guys. It's hard.
All right, and I'll ask once more for Mr. Gardner. What is your vision for our community's development, and how do you plan to support small business growth as the key part of that vision?
Well, I'm one who believes in free markets. I believe that the businesses will create the environment that they need to succeed. I don't think that government ever does a better job for business than business does for itself. And so to that regard, I look at improving the way that we work with these businesses in terms of simplifying process. Big corporations can come in here and they can get through all the hoops that you have to go through. They can get through the paperwork morass to be able to get their businesses started up here. But smaller businesses, they need a simpler process. And so, one of the things that I'd like to see is I'd like to see a simplification of our regulations, a reduction in our regulations on small business to be able to make them flourish here. People ask me, like he did, about what my vision is for this city. And I'll tell you right now, my vision is that we have a safe city with good infrastructure, good roads, excellently trained police and fire that can provide us with safety, and we have a tax rate that we can afford. When I see people that say that they've got this huge vision for the future and all this, you know what I see? I see somebody who's making plans with my money. And so personally, I think that the community should be driving all these initiatives. Just like, they've done with some of the bonds for the rec center and other opportunities, the community should be coming forward and saying, we need a new park, or we need this. It shouldn't be our internal government saying, we want to build this and you're going to pay for it. So with that, that's my vision for Midlothian's future.
Thank you. This time I'm going to start with Mr. Gardner first. How do you plan to address infrastructure needs, such as road improvements or public utilities, to support existing small businesses while also fostering new business growth, particularly in underdeveloped areas of our city?
Yeah. So again, reduction of government, oversight on these businesses, making it easier. I talk to business owners that have to jump through so many hoops. If it's not parking spaces that they have to go through, it's the fire inspections, the repeated inspections where they're going through. And these are businesses that are in buildings that have already been operating. It's frustrating, it's difficult. And so removing those and making it simpler is definitely a big part of it. As far as the infrastructure side, we need to work more as a partner with TxDOT, work more as a partner with ERCOT and with the utilities that are out there, so that we can help them to plan for the growth that they have to support. Because the city is not out there putting in the power lines. We're not responsible for the main infrastructure in terms of the utilities, but we can work with those utility companies to make sure that they are planning for the growth that we're expecting. And ultimately, the growth is going to come, whether we like it or not. All we can do is help to bring it in smart. This also goes with our school districts, need to work with, the MUDs that we hear about coming in, so that we don't get caught flat-footed and end up with, a tremendous influx of people that just do not have a place to go to school. We've got a lot of issues coming our way, and the best thing that we can do is to communicate. We need to work with these companies and reach out, and it's not something we can do in-house. We can't do it sitting having committee meetings. We got to get out there and make those connections and work to ensure that the infrastructure that we need is built out and it's there for us. And an additional issue on infrastructure is we need to make sure that we're spending on repairing those roads, especially in the underdeveloped areas, and putting that infrastructure in before we put it in new fancy, projects. So,
thank you.
Yeah, so on the infrastructure and the roads, I'm a big proponent on the rehabbing, and the city is constantly rehabbing roads, our utility lines, our sewer lines. At budget time in the summer, we could put in $10 million more above and beyond what's already budgeted for roads, and they would go through it like that and then still ask for more. They're going at the pace that we can put in there. And so every time we get to the bottom of the budget, we're like, how much is left over? Can we put more in roads? Do we need to take more out? I mean, that's a big deal there. So in the underdeveloped areas, specifically the roads, like VV Jones was just completely rehabbed, like almost redone. That's in our underdeveloped area. Watching where our industry's going, those big trucks coming in and out, keeping an eye on those roads as well. That's a big thing. Our Economic Development Corporation has done a great job working with some of these big industries coming in, looking at our utilities going in, where do gas lines need to go in, where do water lines go in. That will affect all of the businesses in that area, and they've done a really great job with that. So again, to me, when it comes down to is being an advocate in the community, is making sure that we relationally can work well with others and be able to know the business owners. What's going on? What are your needs? Do we need to work on an encroachment agreement to help you with parking? Our B board went out to Burleson to kind of figure out how they do some of their things with their city and specifically for their small businesses. And it was amazing. Small businesses might say, hey, I have a really hard time with our lunch crowd. What can they do? And they can partner with them. It may just be even cross-marketing or whatever, but it's knowing what's going on for them and helping them by partnering with them to help make them successful.
Thank you. And we'll start with Ms. Hammonds again. It'll go back and forth.
Okay, we've got the pattern, I think.
All right,
down
I think
now.
so.
Yeah.
All right. The next question. What steps will you take to support small businesses through zoning and permitting policies, ensuring the process is efficient, accessible, and cost-effective?
Okay, so this is a big one for me. I find it very interesting that this question's on there, but this is a big area that I hear feedback on. You have zoning, you have permitting, and you have inspection. And sometimes businesses cross all of those. Sometimes they're in one specific bucket or whatever. So my husband and I are currently in the process of opening our own business, and it has been very eye-opening because I personally am getting to go through this process. So that's been fun. And an example of that, and staff is working on this, is studying and comparing what are our processes like. It's kind of like what you mentioned, and I agree with, is where are we kind of old school? Where do we need to like beef things up, keep it digital? So a small example of that is I go in to turn in permit documents and construction documents, $700 to print off 3 sets of these pieces of paper, right? And then they're going to give it right back to you. And that's just something that we've done for decades. Well, now, I ask around, other cities are digital. We're now going digital. That's a tiny thing, but it's going to take off that expense on the front end. We also are currently going forward and rewriting all of our zoning ordinances and our subdivision ordinances. And this is a big deal because some of our ordinances are from the 80s. And so as we see through council cases coming through that someone's like, I want a different roof pitch. And in the 80s, our roof pitch wasn't this normal, but they're having to go through staff, P&Z, and council, and they're getting to us and we're like, why are we talking about roof pitches? So that's something that can be updated on the spot, but we're doing an entire rewrite of the entire thing so we can catch everything up, which is really important and will hopefully ease the process for people coming in, but also still maintaining a high level of excellence. You got to have a balance there for sure.
Thank you. Would you like me to re-ask the question?
No, that's all right. So, I look at this the same as everything else. Government tends to get in the way more than it does help. And, I look at the permitting process as being a very obtrusive for small business. It's difficult. And one of the biggest hiccups that we have in Midlothian is the fact that it's deliberately kept difficult. And I say that, and I know I'm going to ruffle some feathers, but I've been told by numerous people that we do that on purpose so that we have more input and we force them to come to council for more decisions so that we can control more of what happens. But see, that's the wrong way of doing it. We need to make sure everything is well documented, that the designs that we have for our city are clearly stated and simple, so that when a business is approaching or, God forbid, a new developer coming in, they can look and they see what it takes to build or to put in their business, and they understand clearly what the rules are. They can then submit that paperwork, they can submit for those permits, and it's a simplified process where everything doesn't have to go to city council for approval and for redesign. If you've watched our council meetings, you'll see there's a lot of design that takes place at the dais. And it shouldn't happen. It should never happen, because it should be clearly stated out. We have a plan and we need to stick to it. and we need to make it easy for businesses to stick to it. So, I think that's the most important thing we can do in both zoning and permitting in order to make it easy for businesses. So, thank you.
Thank you. Just a show of hands, who's been downtown and see the new City Hall? Who's been inside the new City Hall with the library? Who enjoyed the time there? Great. Our downtown area is beginning to thrive. It's beginning to grow and become newer. One of the things about the downtown area is that small businesses thrive there. They operate the best there because they get foot traffic there and allow them to grow. That's why I ask this next question to our candidates, starting with Mr. Gardner. What policies or ideas do you support to promote a vibrant downtown area where small businesses can thrive and contribute to the community's unique character?
Well, I'll tell you right now, I think we need parking downtown more than we need a park. That's something that's been, discussed quite a bit recently. We have a nice little park downtown. It was next to our nice little city hall that we had that has unfortunately been, destroyed. But that land that we own now should be used to make parking a lot easier for our residents. Now, we can do a little bit of a park down there and improve the downtown area. But I don't know if y'all have seen plans for that, but when I look at those plans, I'm seeing a $20 million park. And I keep hearing we don't have money to finish our roads. We can, I heard her say that we are doing all that the city is capable of doing, and that's true with the money that they're being given. Now I know our roads department can do a lot more than what they're doing right now. You talk to Adam Merger, he'll tell you. They could get all these things going simultaneously if we wanted them to. The issue is that we have limited budgets because we have great plans. I think that business will drive those plans downtown. I think that business has driven the renovation of our downtown. I think that we can thank the Chamber, we can thank the Downtown Business Association for renovating downtown Midlothian. They've done a great job. But I don't think it's the city's responsibility to determine what that looks like. I think it's our job to provide the infrastructure that's required and to do it at the most economical and most responsible way possible.
Thank you.
Okay, so we have a downtown master plan created in 2020. There are 7 catalyst areas in that. This is something that the community helped give input on. It's a big deal to me, and I find it very important to look into that plan. City Hall was one of the biggest. It's like shifting the town square over. That was one of our 7 catalyst projects. That's been completed. To me, downtown it is the heartbeat. I think you mentioned like the coming together, the bringing. Whenever I go down there and I see kids playing like King of the Hill and rolling down this like grass hill, it's like nothing fancy, and there's life and it's vibrant. To me, that says something about a town. The park going in, that's also discussed in the downtown plan. It is, but numbers have not been discussed. We do not know the budget, and no one has said that the city general fund is paying for it. So we don't need to jump to conclusions on that. But whenever we're getting feedback that this is wanted, I'm for it. We're also talking about Avenue F, green spaces. The biggest thing also is walkability. People with strollers or wheelchairs, they need to be able to walk downtown. They need to be walking around Avenue F and all of our other streets. And when we're saying downtown, the footprint is growing as well. Founders Row going all the way down, and hopefully that will expand out. So it's not just downtown, it's the circle of our city that's going to bring people in, not make us like this big touristy thing, but bring people in. They shop here, they play here, they go back to their areas, and we have revenue coming in from that. So again, the relational side of things, the community, the mental health of being active out in a park, all of that to me is very important. Our plan that we're putting in place and following, I think, is really important. Everything from lighting, safety, all of that kind of stuff. It's it's all outlined in that plan, and I really like how it's set up.
Thank you. All right, and then we're going to go ahead and conclude with our conclusions from both candidates. We're going to start with Ms. Hammonds, if you can get a 1-minute conclusion.
Okay, 1 minute. Thanks for having me and for coming out. It's really encouraging to see so many people here that care about wanting to get to know us and casting your vote. If you'll stop by my table, on any of my print materials is my cell phone. I'm big on being accessible. My cell phone's on there. Text is always great. Call me or whatever. But being present, being able to meet, being able to be active in the community and be out at things, being able to get to know what's going on in the community is very important. Yeah, so text or call me if you have any questions. Thanks for having me out. And yeah, it's good things like that's going on here.
Thank you, Midlothian, for letting me speak. Thank you for considering me as a candidate for city council. I'll tell you right now, I'm here because I've been in this community for 20 years. Part of it is that, I've watched it get far more expensive. I've seen so many people leave because they can no longer afford the taxes here. It's difficult. And when I sit and I watch, the great vision that is driving a lot of those taxes, it's troubling to me. It really is, because here's the deal. There's the downtown business area, and then there's the rest of Midlothian. There's a lot of people in this town that don't ever even make it to downtown, that go to work and come home, and they want parks in their neighborhoods, they want good roads, and they want to make sure that the police are there to protect them and the fire's there to save them. And you know what? That's what we need to focus on. We need to focus on the core principles and make sure that we're delivering to the residents what their taxes are being paid for.
All right, thank you both. I want you to grab the paper out that I gave you earlier with those two names. Those two names on that list are Anna Hammonds and Ed Gardner. I hope that this made your decision easier, and when May 3rd rolls around, I hope you make the right decision for Midlothian. We're going to take a 5-minute break, and after that, we're going to come back and take place 4 with Clark Wickliffe and Valencia Daniels. Please talk to our candidates in between, and maybe use the restroom if you have to. Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, thank you for coming out. Oh.
I just rated you on Tuesday, your speech that you gave for the
Oh,
Rotary
really?
Club. Yes,
Oh,
you did a good job.
Oh. Okay.
No.
Nobody.
We can ask them. I don't mind passing it back and forth. Whatever's easier.
If we can be heard, then I don't need to.
All right, we're going to go ahead and get started.
He missed us. We were going to ask if we could leave the mic here. If we're going to put it on.
Y'all can just do whatever you want to do. Just pass it back, because I'm going to start with you.
Okay. Do you mind if we ask him if the audio's picking up? If we just leave it right here?
I mean, you can. Well, actually, I don't know if they can
That's all right.
hear that. So,
We'll figure it out. All good.
all right. Hopefully, everybody got a bathroom break. Everybody got settled. Great. All right. So we got our next two people here running for place 4. On your left, we have Valencia Daniels, and on your right, we have Clark Wickliffe. And if I can have Mr. Wickliffe start with his 2-minute introduction.
I won't risk it. Let's see. Good evening, everybody. My name's Clark Wickliffe, and I'm honored to be here tonight as a candidate running for re-election for Midlothian City Council Place 4. Midlothian's not just where I live and work. This is my hometown. This is where I was raised, and this is where I've chose to raise my family. I met my wife, Mackenzie, right here at Midlothian High School, and we're raising our 2 children together here in Midlothian who are students at MISD. I've also had the privilege of owning and operating a business right here in Midlothian, which gives me a deep understanding of the challenges and opportunities that are facing our local entrepreneurs. I'm passionate about supporting our community's growth and making sure that we remain a place that families want to live and business want to grow. But what truly sets me apart as a candidate is my experience in this role, my involvement in every aspect of Midlothian's life, whether it's coaching youth sports, serving on the utility board, overseeing the parks board, the community advisory board, or at cleanup events, or when I was a parks board member. I am actively engaged in every part of Midlothian, and I believe that being a city council member isn't just about making a decision the night of a vote. It's about showing up and being a part in the everyday life of Midlothian and our residents. I'm committed to representing you in the ways of our shared values, of what the values are of Midlothian, and I'm the candidate who has consistently been involved in every aspect of our community, and I'm excited to continue to work hard for future Midlothian, and I look forward to answering the questions tonight.
Thank you. Whenever you're ready.
Hello, everyone. My name is Valencia Daniels, and unlike most of the people who are currently on City Council, and also like Mr. Wickliffe here, I was not born here in Midlothian. I did move here because my job relocated me here. What happened to me that made me decide that Midlothian was going to be my home was the simple fact that I love the spirit of this community. I had a choice. I could have moved to any city that I wanted to, but I elected to make Midlothian my hometown. I have a bachelor's degree in criminal justice from Liberty University, and I've worked for the last 20 years in syndicated lending. Some of you may ask, what is syndicated lending? I work for one of the major banks in the world, where my group is responsible for loans that go out all over the world. We deal in only commercial lending properties. In other words, when UPS got ready to fund their planes for $69 billion, my group was the one that was responsible for that. I deal not only in our U.S. markets for my firm, I deal in EMEA, Latin America, as well as our Japan markets, and any market that my bank has a stake in. That's just a little bit about me. I do have 2 adult children, ages 31 and 27, 5 grandchildren, and they love Midlothian. I know I don't look like it, do I? And they love Midlothian just as much as I do. I agree with Mr. Wickliffe here in making a decision the night of the vote is not the best way to go, but it is imperative that you get to know the candidates and who they are and what their background is and what they believe in.
Thank you. All right,
Do we need
we're gonna
this?
start. It's for the phone up here.
Do we need this on? I don't know. Can they still hear us without it?
It's
We
for the
do?
live
Okay.
stream on there, so our people at home can hear.
I feel like I'm about to sing a Britney Spears song in a minute here.
All right, we're going to start with you, Ms. Daniels.
Yes.
What is your vision for our community's development, and how do you plan to support small business growth as a key part of that vision?
My vision for the community's development is, I don't even know where to start. I have so much of a vision for the community. One of the things that I want to see with Midlothian is that the community continues to strive. As far as community development, I think it's essential on creating an inclusive environment which everyone could strive. I know one of the things about Midlothian is that it was built on small businesses, and I believe that we still need to pour into those small town businesses because they play a critical role as they drive our local economics. They help us with job opportunities. They produce products and services that are needed. But one of the things that I do think that we need to look into is what are those businesses that we are allowing to come into our community? Are we oversaturating them with the same businesses? Are we looking for new businesses to actually come in that are going to make not only us here in Midlothian want to shop in Midlothian, but also people from outside to come in and shop as well, since we want our revenue to continue to grow in Midlothian. I think that another thing that we need to look at is ensuring that our culture continue to be vibrant and thrive while meeting the needs of our community. We also need to be more diversified in the businesses that we're bringing into the community. I just drove around, and no offense to any of the business owners that are here, but I looked and we have like 9 dental offices within a certain radius, which I don't understand how that's a good idea because they're all businesses that are in the same sector. So I think that's one of the things that we need to look at is bringing a more diversified group of businesses into the communities.
Thank you.
I know, this is weird.
Whenever you're ready.
Well, the secret's out. Midlothian's one of the best communities in the Metroplex. My vision is to maintain a balance between development and the small town charm, and that's what makes our city so special. Supporting small business is a key part of my vision. I have and I will continue to advocate for policies and procedures that incentivize local entrepreneurs and streamlines the permitting processes. One of the biggest issues in Midlothian is that we third-party all of our planning, our permits and reviews. It is ineffective. They are slow. They are always behind. I am wanting to take it in-house or go out and look for a different party to help us with that. I plan on expanding infrastructure. I am very big on roadway infrastructure. I want to use our impact fees to help expand road capacity instead of taking the brunt of the hit on the general fund so we can have more room to do other projects or lower taxes. Projects like Hawkins Run, which I was excited to be a part of, that opportunity or that project gave more opportunity for small businesses because we lack infrastructure or buildings where small businesses can go in this community. And so that was one that gave an opportunity for small businesses. With that being said, I've also negotiated with large-scale developers like Weber that so much of their square footage had to be dedicated to locally owned and small business owners. Additionally, I was a part of helping bring in Community Park online. That project has boosted our local economy through sales tax revenue through the tournaments that the sports associations bring. And recently, you have seen the small business promotion grant go out that we have worked on with our 4A department. I will continue to make sure that these types of grants go out to help small business owners either through advertising or through improvements to their buildings to help them showcase their product and services.
Thank you. We're going to start again with you, Mr. Wickliffe. How do you plan to address infrastructure needs, such as road improvements or public utilities, to support existing small businesses while also fostering new business growth, particularly in underdeveloped areas of our city?
I firmly believe that we must prioritize our roadway infrastructure here. One of the key incentives that I've been involved with is advocating for roadway expansion with TxDOT and COG. I want to again leverage our impact fees, which will reduce the financial burden of the taxpayers from the general fund and put it back on the fees we've collected from the impact of this new development. By strategically utilizing our impact fees, we can increase our roadway capacity in key economic areas such as Railport and downtown Midlothian, This approach will relieve millions of dollars to the general fund, which will give us the opportunity to do 3 years worth of roadway maintenance in one budget cycle, or roughly about a $2 million cut in the taxes. Additionally, I'm taking a proactive approach to beyond roads. We must also focus on public utilities. One of the things that I'm proud of when I was on the utility board and as a city council member is I knew water was going to be liquid gold for the city. I went in as a council member and said, we have got to purchase as much water as we can financially afford. And we went out and we did that. And then we turned around and sold it to municipalities and other water districts that didn't have enough water capacity and made them pay for that investment, which lowered the cost of water usage to not only our businesses but our residents. And I believe that we need to continue to do that. That's how we've reached the maximum capacity with TRWD and Joe Pool Lake. And through these partnerships, I think it will benefit our large industry as long as also benefiting our small businesses. We need to continue to do that while we maintain a physical responsibility to the taxpayers, and I believe working with other municipalities on roadway and water infrastructure will help us do that.
Thank you. Whenever you're ready.
Personally, I think one of the things that we may need to do is we may need to reassess and look at our current landscaping. What are the needs in the underdeveloped areas? We must engage not only the community, we also need to engage stakeholders. We also need to engage residences. We also need to engage businesses that are out there that are being impacted. And we must also make sure that all of those people are involved in the decision-making processes of our community. It's not a one for all. One person shouldn't just have the say-so for the masses, but everyone ought to be engaged. Not only do I believe that everyone needs to be engaged, but we also need to make sure that the projects that we're endeavoring upon are actually meeting the needs of the community and not just our own endeavors. One of the things that I want to see is that our constituents are a little more involved in this decision-making processes. I think oftentimes some of them may even feel excluded because they're not actually involved, and that's more than just going to a city council meeting twice a month. Sometimes if you are a city council member, you have to be boots on the ground and get out there and actually talk to people and find out what is going on. As far as the utility companies are concerned, we also need to collaborate with our utility companies to see if there's any economic programs that they may have, things that they can use to help us and benefit our city a little bit more.
Thank you. We'll start with her again. Just a show of hands, who knows somebody or if you own a small business? It's hard to operate a small business, isn't it? It really is. And one of the things that helps run small businesses better is ensuring that policies are driven for small businesses. Not for the big people, but for the small guys. So, this is why I ask this next question. Starting with Ms. Daniels. What steps will you take to support small businesses through zoning and permitting policies, ensuring the process is efficient, accessible, and cost-effective?
One of the things that I would look at is review and update or modernize the current zoning regulations that Midlothian has, in ensuring that those businesses are able to operate under the more, I shouldn't say the more, but the modern zoning practices. I believe that Anna had stated earlier that our zoning practices, some of them were a bit dated. So that is something that we do need to look at and consider while maintaining community standards. Secondly, I believe that we need to take a look at the forms and the procedures, that they are clear to understand for a small business owner. Sometimes the form, you almost need a law degree to understand what the form is saying. So we need to make sure that all of those forms are clear for our business owners to understand. Thirdly, I would suggest we provide, I know the city does a great job at having workshops, but maybe we need to have a few more workshops just to make sure that those people who are completing those forms actually understand them. I know Navarro College also has a program there where they help small business owners to become acclimated with the forms that are needed to be filled out for the small businesses. And then fourth, I would say we need to also look at having an expedited process if the business is one that's a rather small one and that business is not going to be an enormous risk to the community, maybe we need to look at efforts where we can go in and kind of expedite their process for becoming an up and running business in the community.
Whenever you're ready.
Well, for years, our zoning ordinances have been increasingly more complex due to continuous changes at the state legislature. Mr. Gardner is right. We have had a practice in the past to make them more complex so people would come to the table and negotiate. I have never technically really agreed with that. I think we need to be straightforward in what we want. We need to tell developers this is what the citizens want. This is the vision of Midlothian. You could meet this or not come here. This complex zoning that we've done that no one really knows the end result is not helping anybody. However, I will say it's also creating additional burdens for small businesses. Navigating the system shouldn't be a burden. It should be straightforward and clear. Many small businesses operate inside our inner loop because it's the most economic place for them to go. And I have been intentional about ensuring that our resources in that area stay in that area and that we have common sense zoning regulations applied. A 100-year-old house and a 100-year-old building cannot meet commercial standards of a brand new building. This has costed business owners tens of thousands of dollars trying to start up, which is hindering our small businesses in our area. We need to understand that in these areas we can't meet the same parking standard that a brand new development could on large landmass, and we need to tailor our ordinances for that. Additionally, I'm proud to be part of the team that is overseeing the major ordinance rewrite right now. This incentive is focused on simplifying our zoning and permitting processes and making it more accessible and efficient and business friendly. At the same time, I believe in protecting the character of our community from high density development, and we should stop the density encroachment out into our outer areas of Midlothian and make sure that when we approve a development, it meets not only our city's value and vision, but the infrastructure that we have in the area at the time.
Thank you.
I'll get that to me.
Yes.
I'll get it down eventually.
We'll see if I can get it down. All right. And lastly, asking, what policies or ideas do you support to promote a vibrant downtown area where small businesses can thrive and contribute to the community's unique character?
Downtown is the heart and soul of Midlothian, and I've been spending my entire life downtown. My mother owned a business in downtown and used to go have DTs every breakfast, and I miss that place. But our community's identity is rooted there, and it plays a vital role in our local economy. I'm proud of the progress we've made, including securing the storage buildings and finishing the City Hall Library. Since its opening, the library has seen an increase in visitors, about 300 people per day. This boost in foot traffic has increased revenue for the small businesses downtown. I'm committed to keeping the momentum going in the downtown and ensuring that it's a vibrant place for residents to spend time and to support small businesses. And I advocate for tax incentives and permits and waiver of permit fees and impact fees for small businesses opening up in our downtown area. I am all for continuing events in downtown because these events bring energy to our downtown and give the business owners an opportunity to show off their product and their service. Beyond economic support, I am passionate about making downtown more walkable and accessible. As somebody with a family member in a wheelchair, I understand firsthand how difficult it can be to navigate downtown. And I understand the importance of improving accessibility is essential not just for those with mobility issues, but for everybody. This includes adding green space, enhancing streetscapes, expanding parking options, and well-planned pedestrian-friendly downtown encourages people to linger and shop, which in return generates more sales tax dollars, which generates more revenue for the city, which gives the council an opportunity to continue to decrease ad valorem taxes on its citizens. I support these incentives, and I believe that Midlothian's downtown should reflect our unique character of our community, and we should continue to expand our infrastructure in the area.
Thank you. Whenever you're ready.
What I do believe, or what I do look for, are policies that are going to encourage local events, beautification efforts for our downtown environment, incentives for small businesses by improving walkability, creating a shop local environment, and efficient parking. Now, let me go back to this efficient parking, because I realize that parking is a concern downtown because it also impacts those residences that are down there. We want to ensure that those residents who live downtown or in that area are not impacted by the overflow, because that could impact someone, especially someone, as you stated, Clark, that's in a wheelchair, and then you have everyone down there and you can't even get in your front yard. So we want to make sure that the needs of those citizens are also addressed. The other thing that I wanted to mention about downtown was we basically want to look forward and create an environment where businesses thrive and communities could actually come together and shop, dine, and everyone be able to connect in that area. But we also have to be mindful of the residents that are in that area. That is my vision for the downtown community.
Thank you. And then Ms. Daniels, we're going to start with you for your 2-minute conclusion.
You messed up already. We've been up here like 10, 15 minutes. Clark, come on.
I'm a slow one.
Whenever you're ready.
Oh, so this is my 2 minutes, my
1
1 minute?
minute, I'm
okay. So, in closing, I just want to say this. A lot of people have asked about community, the small town feel, and different things like that. What I believe is that community, because you've lived in a community for any length of time, doesn't necessarily how do I want to say this? I'm sorry, I'm stumbling over my words. I believe that because you have resided in a community for a number of years, it doesn't necessarily make the community itself. It's the people that live in the community. The people that live into the community are the ones that give it that hometown feel. How do we do this? Say hi to your neighbor. It's not going to hurt you to say hello. Ask them how they're doing. Do you need anything? That's what keeps the community as that small hometown community feel, not the length of time that you've resided there, but are you neighborly? The greatest commandment was given in the Bible. Jesus himself said that you ought to love your neighbor as you love yourselves. Well, guess what? I love me. And because I love me, it's my duty to love the people of the community that I live in. And I'm done.
Thank you for the opportunity to speak to everybody tonight, and I also want to thank everybody for the opportunity that have got to be your council member for this last term. During my time on City Council, I've tirelessly worked to make a difference. I've lowered the tax rate from 72 cents to 65 cents. I passed the homestead exemption. I passed the senior exemption. I passed the disabled exemption, supported initiatives that support our quality of life. I was one of the people who made sure that we had SROs in every single school after Uvalde, and made sure the city took the brunt hit of that financially at first, and then worked out a payment program with the school. With that, we have now the #1 school resource officer program in the state. We are in the top 50 safest cities in the state, and I'm exceptionally proud of what we've done and what our first responders have done. And I've dedicated my entire term to the residents, whether it's through my business or coaching youth sports or advocating for property tax relief when I've gone to Austin. I'm just honored to have got the opportunity to serve, and I wish to continue my work. Thank you.
Thank you.
That one song comes up fast.
All right, so once again, we have Ms. Daniels on the left and then Mr. Wickliffe on your right. I've been told that I'm supposed to introduce myself because I apparently didn't do that in the beginning. But my name is Clay Gurman. If you don't know me, I'm a senior at Midlothian High School. I graduate on the 17th, ready for that.
And the best speaker of the night.
Thank you. Speaking of speaking, I'm the president of the MHS Speech and Debate Club. I'm actually proud. Thank you. The person that you just heard howl in the back was actually my vice president, Eleanor Drake. Glad to have her on there next year and hopefully take it from me. I've been in speech and debate for 3 years now, and I've also been a student at Midlothian High School for 3 years. I've lived in Midlothian for about 10 years. I was homeschooled for a while, didn't enjoy that, but you know, whatever floats your boat. But yeah, I just love Midlothian as a community. I've I've definitely got involved in the community a lot more in the past few years, and this is just one of the opportunities that I've taken to get more involved as a community member. The other day, I know Miss Daniels was there at the Rotary Club to judge my speech.
And now I'm on this side of the table. How ironic.
And yeah, it was just a great opportunity to get involved in the community, and I'd urge you to do the same thing. Go get involved in the community. Just because you're not serving on the city council doesn't mean that you don't have an opportunity to get involved in the community. Go get involved in the school. Go serve on the PTA. Go get something going for yourself, because you are a member here of this community, and it's important for you to grow here. I'd like to ask the candidates one more question each of them, not anything too bad. Speaking of small businesses, is there any restaurant that you'd recommend to go to after here that's a small business, and what you prefer to eat there?
Trap. Oh. Oh, you want me to go first?
No, I'll take it. You know that.
So I got to be honest. I eat at the same 3 places every week. It's really easy to find me. Kim and Jenny's is probably my number one, but they're not open for dinner. So I would say jalapeno lemon pepper is a good one.
The one that I would recommend has not opened yet.
Oh.
Yeah, you
I'm sorry, I took it out.
that.
I tasted their food.
I think these two are
It's
siblings.
amazing. I'm sorry, we're having a whole separate conversation. You guys are like, what restaurant is it? Blue Mint, when it opens, the Thai food oh my gosh. And the drunken noodles. I know, I shouldn't say that, but the drunken noodles are the best on the menu. They're non-alcoholic, so the kids can enjoy them. But a restaurant that is open, I'm a pasta fanatic, so Bellucci's would be my go-to.
All right, well, thank you so much for coming out here tonight. Just a reminder, one more time, we have Clerk Wickliffe on your right and Miss Daniels on the left, running for Place 4 City Council. Thank you so much all for coming out tonight. And I hope you all have a great night.
That was fun, Clark. No, that was fun. It was the stop sign for me.
Yeah, that came out fast. My speech was hilarious.